So welcome to the Ultimate 11 podcast. I'm here with Billy and we are talking through our pre-Premier League versus Premier League Ultimate 11. How are you feeling about this one, Bill?
Yes, mate. I think Premier League era might take this.
You think?
Yeah, I know there's some absolute ballers back in the day, but I do think the Premier League era is going to pull out some names that I just don't think can be touched.
Well, I think we've all got a right thing for nostalgia, but when I put my team together, there is some top unbelievable players here that I think would smash it in today's game. So what we'll do is we will talk through our Ultimate 11s, our choices, back to front, who we're choosing. At the end, we'll talk through some of our honourable mentions that maybe didn't quite make the team, that will be sitting on the bench when we do the simulation at the end. So I'm excited for this. I'm intrigued to see who you've got in net. Billy, do you want to get us going with who you've got in net and why you've chosen?
I think who I've got in net, as you say, has to, mate, to be fair, there's only one, isn't there? The Great Dane, Peter Schmeichel. The guy was an absolute colossal. I think he kind of revolutionised how goalkeeping was seen, especially in the early 90s. And then what it went on to do, obviously, the fact I think he was bought for what, 500 grand or something like that as well. What, sorry, 1.5 million it was, 1.5 million, I believe. Absolute snippet. And what he went on to achieve, Man United, his leadership, his just overall dominance in the box. And obviously, he was well aware and well known for his famous starfish saves. I just think like you just can't look past him. Bear in mind, like there's some great goalkeepers. Let's not like muck about it. There is some unbelievable goalkeepers in the Premier League era, but that guy was just a joke.
Interesting.
Obviously, what he did with Denmark as well. Let's not take away. It's not just about trophies. I'm not just putting just trophies, honestly, but he was phenomenal. And obviously, he's one of the only parents whose son has actually been a success as well. No shade thrown over anyone, but yeah, I just think you can't look past the Great Dane. You just can't do it.
That's so interesting because my all-time Premier League goalkeeper, I go Peter Cech. I think between some of those records he did and what an absolute monster he was at the back. But it's not my choice and not my team.
No, Cech does get an honourable mention as well. So does Seaman as well. Don't worry. Later on, we'll talk about him too.
So for me, now this is a somewhat challenging in that I was born in 1989, so the Premier League is somewhat all I've known. But obviously, I watched watched a lot of footage and all that good stuff. I'm just so young still. That I couldn't look past the iconic Peter Shilton. You know, Peter Shilton, he had longevity, played 125 times for England, European Cup winner with Nottingham Forest, 10 World Cup clean sheets, just an absolute colossus between the posts, wasn't he? So,
I mean, there is one player that I have to mention, mate, that I'm surprised you haven't. I know it's Gordon Banks.
Banksy, yeah, I know. I think
I'm the same as you. I never saw these players play. So I'm exactly the same as you in terms of like pre-Premier League. It's hard to sort of speak about players that I never saw play. I understand Chilwell, like you said, his England record alone, and you speak to. So I think Joe Hart did a piece on how like Shilton was one of his idols and stuff like that. So I do get where you're coming from entirely. But yeah, Shilton was what a goalkeeper.
Yeah, it's one of them. It's a toss up, isn't it? You can then throw Ray Clements, Peter Bonetti, all the fellas in, but I'm going for Shilton. I think he's
names galore.
He's my guy. He is the one that I'm going for in this particular team. Never know if he gets an injury, maybe Gordon Banks can come off the bench.
Yeah, fair. Quick, just moving on. What is the formation you're playing? Just out of interest, are you
going
old with 4-4-2 or what are you talking about?
So I should do 4-4-2, but I've actually gone a little bit rogue and I've gone 3 at the back, and then I've got an overloaded midfield and up top. So I'll be working out somewhat as I go along because I do have a right back playing centre half, but we'll Kyle Walker did it, didn't he? So and he did it quite well. So
yeah.
How about yourself?
I'm trying to work out what I've gone for. I've gone for
jamming the best players you possibly can.
Yeah, I've thumbed them all in somewhere. No, I've gone for 4-3-3, and I think the players complement the situation. It's obviously some of the players obviously didn't were more known for 4-4-2, but I think you could easily fit them into a 4-3-3 with the modern side.
Yeah.
Modern style play. I mean, um, yeah, I think the players I've chosen would have easily fitted into both systems. To be honest with you, so yeah, I've gone 4-3-3.
Nice. Who's your first choice at the back then? Do you want to go centre half, right back? Up to you,
I
left
want to
back.
go right back.
Yeah.
Um, and there's only one man. I think he's kind of taken over in, well, probably not this season, probably not last season. Obviously, he went off to Milan on loan. I think you know who I'm talking about, Mr. Carl Walker. I
Yeah.
think he was not sure. I don't think he was ever in people's top list probably 5-6 years ago. But I think since then he's just gone to another level. His game is elevated. Obviously, he's had the pace to get back, which has saved him a hell of a lot. But I think that pace does kind of set him apart from some of his previous predecessors. So I'm not going to name. We'll go through him later on.
I always found he was underrated on the ball as well. He could always ping a pass and stuff. And then you hear the top players like Neymar and all that, and Vinny Jr. saying he was the toughest player that
Yeah, he
they'd
was a
all play
unit as
against.
well. I don't think people understood how strong he was as well. He was an absolute unit. And obviously, like I said, going forward, like he was unbelievable. He really was a solid player. And I think obviously he scored goals. He had that attack in him. I think his assist record speaks for itself. I don't know if it's a hand, but his assist record was very good going, especially for a right back, playing the teams they played with. Some of the players he played on the right hand side as well at City was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I think the fact he cemented that place and no one got in until the last couple of years says everything. Like you said, he was capable to move inside, shows his ability to be adaptable as well. I don't think you can look anywhere past Carl Walker. To be fair, I do think he probably would go down as maybe the greatest English right back of all time.
Yeah, he's probably my Prem 11 right back as well. I think there's players like Ivanovic and stuff you could maybe give a shout, but I think Walker probably stands alone. I'm obviously Gary Neville, but I think Walker stands alone. To be fair,
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone close to him, even like in the last 5 years, really. Even when he was getting older, I still don't think it's anywhere close to him still.
yeah,
Even in England, he still can walk into it. Well, probably not, maybe not now this season, but it was at Burnley. He's a Burnley this season, and I think
yeah.
when he got sent off the weekend, he got turned inside out. But I think that's his age as well, to be fair. I think his age is creeping up a little bit.
So now Dama
He's
Traore last
36.
season, wasn't it? But I'd
Yeah.
still top player.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
gonna jump
36
in.
years old.
Yeah, that's true. I'm gonna jump
Yeah,
in with
take
my
over.
first centre half, who is actually a right back himself. But I'm gonna go for Viv Anderson.
Oh, what a
Whenever I hear the
player.
stories on podcasts and bits and pieces, the ex pros always talk about, what an unbelievable talent Viv Anderson was. Had a bit of everything. He had the pace, he had the power, real defensive anchor. And then historically as well, he's the first back player to earn an England cap in the 70s, which was obviously a massive thing. And then he won the European Cup with Nottingham Forest. He was part of that, Brian Clough team. So I couldn't look past him. There was other centre halves I could have snuck in, etc. But I just thought I'll use the Kyle Walker mode and the the Gareth Southgate, and I'll stick with Anderson in there at centre half. And I think he did a great job. He had a great career, top player as well. So he's in there for me.
Yeah, I mean, same as yourself. I've heard people talk about it on podcasts, etc., and everyone said how good he was. Like yourself, I'm a year older than you, mate, and so I never saw him play. But some of the stuff you hear about him was phenomenal. I think he was a very, very good player from what we've seen, we've heard. So yeah, I think that's a great shout, mate. To be fair, can't really argue with that. I'm trying to think of an argument, but can't really think of one.
I'm gonna jump in here and go next as well. I'm just gonna make things a bit more confusing than they already are. The King, Bobby Moore, he's gonna be one of my centre halves as well.
It scared me.
England World Cup winning captain, ultimate leader. You hear stories about what a player he was. On paper, I always hear Harry Redknapp talk about on paper Bobby Moore had no chance. He wasn't particularly fast, wasn't particularly strong, but his timing was inevitable, always in the right spot at the right time. Had unbelievable feet as well for that time. Watch back some of the highlights, some of the passes he was able to play out from the back and stuff. Just phenomenal. Even Pele said he's the toughest defender he's ever faced. And how can we forget that? Legendary tackle he made in that World Cup. I think it was the 70 World Cup as well. West Ham legend, absolute icon of the game. And, I think we could go down as, England's, finest centre half, you know. Won the World Cup, captained the team, so 108 England caps as well in that time. So iconic player. I couldn't look past him. I couldn't pick anyone else.
Mate, to be fair, I don't think you could go anywhere. He's like England's all-time greatest ever centre back. Let's be honest. I don't think any name, even though the names I'm going to put out are elite, that is literally the pinnacle of British centre backs.
Yeah, yeah, I
I
think
don't think you can. I mean, I'm trying to figure an argument, but I haven't got one at all. He's unreal. Again, the stories you hear, the videos you see, how good he was, mate. So yeah, I've got nothing on that one, unfortunately. I think you're going to win that one.
Who have you got centre half then? Or
So
left
I've
back?
gone for two. So I've gone for two centre backs. I've gone
Yeah,
for Rio Ferdinand first of all,
yeah,
um, and I know obviously he does get a little bit of shade thrown his way, but he was ahead of his time. Like the guy was so comfortable on the ball. He was quick. Obviously, made total career appearances. I think it was like 700.
wow.
Um, he had a goal in him. I think he had double figures for assists. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's 11. So for a clean sheet, ain't bad. And I'm pretty certain he got 180, 192 clean sheets. Mate, he was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Him, obviously, the partnerships he had with Vidic are well known, what duo that was. But also, he cemented his place, I think, in England legacy. Probably behind Bobby Moore is one of the greatest. I'm not saying he is in that bracket, but I do believe he has a shout to be considered in that. I think he was
He
absolutely
was what?
class.
Not
He was a
far off a
Rolls
40
Royce, mate.
million pound player in like 2001 or something as well, wasn't he? When United signed him from Leeds. So I
Yeah, I think
remember
that's it. Really.
hearing Glenn Hoddle bang on about him. He was saying that if he had his hands on Ferdinand sooner, he'd have tried to turn him into like a Beckenbauer style defensive mid. He said he thought he had everything.
Mate,
And
I think that's the thing. He was that good, wasn't he? Like,
mm,
how many Premier Leagues did he win? Six Premier Leagues at United.
enough.
Um, Champions League. I mean, the guy was just class. He was smooth. He was silky. He was like he could ping a ball. He could tackle. He could easily out strength, out muscle people. But at the same time, he wasn't afraid to do the dirty work. So I do believe, for me, he is a
Real
shoe
that.
in the Premier League, yeah. And I mean, there's some phenomenal players. Hence why the next one was so hard
And who
for
have you
me to
got
choose.
partnering him then?
I've gone controversially. I've gone for a Man United legend and I've gone for a Man City legend. I've gone for
Ooh.
Vincent Company.
Oh, not Richard Dunn.
I mean, there was a toss up between the two. I mean, Richard Dunn. Let's be honest, the guy was brilliant.
He's good though.
But yeah, mate, let's be
Company.
honest. Vincent Company was a man
Mm.
Behemoth, the guy was a joke of a centre for back. Sorry, um, he obviously came from Hamburg for like £6 million in Sven Göran Eriksson team. Do you
Yeah.
remember that?
Yeah. I do, yeah.
And was
For the
defensive
Thai
midfielder. And
ownership.
then, yeah, exactly. That's it. And then he was defensive midfielder and then pushed back to centre back, and he was phenomenal. He was an absolute mammoth at the back. Like what, 550 appearances, 20 assists, 31 goals. The guy's a joke.
I think you could
Like,
arguably say that he was one of the first catalysts for bringing that winning mentality to City, couldn't you? Like
that's
he,
it. He set the standard. I think that was it. Like they were lacking it. I think obviously we're talking about footballers nowadays and teams nowadays. I'm a bit nostalgic. I struggle with modern football, but Rio Ferdinand and obviously certain players I'm going to list later on, Company, they set the tone, especially as captain as well. Like the level he set, that didn't drop. That was the level, and it stayed at that level. There was nothing going up or down from there. That was it. Whatever he said, that was where you went to, and obviously players then followed suit with that. And I think that's why he was so good. There's obviously some great players that have played. Like, trust me, there's some of the names I'm going to mention later that deserve more than honourable mentions. This was a hard position. This was a very hard position to
it's a
choose.
toughie,
But
isn't it? Yeah, there's some good players in there. There's some good
I
ones.
just think them two would complement themselves very well as well. Because obviously, felt like I said, going back to what I said a minute ago, I know Company was very good with his feet,
Hmm.
but he was more a defensive minded player, whereas Ferdinand was that one that he could run forward, he could beat a player ping a pass. Company could do that, but it was not what he's known for. And obviously, let's be honest, the goal against Leicester, again, like when the famous Aguero, no Vinny, no Vinny, no, and there goes top bins. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you can't look further than him, can you? Let's be honest.
I mean, I've
Absolute
got different
baller.
opinions, but I'll save them for for a different point, maybe later in the story.
Yeah,
For
no,
me,
like
my other centre half I'm going to jump into is if you ever watch Match of the Day, you'll know him. You can't win anything with kids, but
I
Alan
think it's
Hansen.
like, yeah,
I don't know tons about his playing career as such, but he was part of that Scottish generation that had some absolute unbelievable players. And then obviously part of one of the most dominant football teams in English history with his 3 European Cups and 8 First Division titles, playing at the back there at centre half. So I mean, if there was a man to ever kind of be a pundit that could tell you how to and why to play football and the right way to do it, he was the man to do so. He was personified absolute winner, winning mentality, knew exactly what he was talking about. Unbelievable defender, big, strong, good in the air. Didn't watch him. I've seen the
I think
highlights, I've heard the stories, but
on the back of the two players you've given, sorry, mate, do you think either of them could go into the Premier League and be a dominant force like they were in the year they played in? Because I'm gonna be honest, I don't think some of the players on my list could have gone back and been as dominant as they were. But then also, I do struggle to believe that some of the players in the past could come forwards. Some could. I think
yeah, I
Bobby
suppose
Moore,
it's
Bobby
a
Moore was ahead of his time, wasn't he?
different type of football, isn't it? It depends kind
Yeah,
of how they line up, how they play. The players of today would have the opportunity to just pass it back to their goalkeeper and the keeper could pick it up, which probably makes life easier for a lot of them. Could,
yeah.
Alan Hansen do that under if he's had to play a Pep Guardiola style of play? I wouldn't doubt that he could. I'm sure he could. But
But he
yeah.
would surely like him and Bobby. I think Bobby Moore probably more so. I think could probably come in and fit into the
Mm,
modern era. Even the Ferdinand era quite comfortably, I believe. Like
yeah.
from what I've heard, what I've seen, you said yourself, he was ahead of his time a little bit. How he played, he was comfortable with the ball of feet, he was etc. I do think he would probably have suited it, and he was a very clean defender as well. He only tackled a bit in the Maldini mould where and the Baresi mould. He only tackled when he was in trouble, which
Yeah.
was very rare. So I do believe he probably could have fitted into the modern era. But I don't know much about. I don't know enough about Hansen. I've obviously heard him. We all know, like I said, the famous quote, which he's probably more known for from our generation. But yeah,
You
he
can't look past those titles, and to be
no,
the stalwart
exactly.
in that team. He definitely had something about him.
I think it goes down to, doesn't it? It's like players like we'll use Pitch Michael, use Rio Ferdinand and Carl Walker, the three players we just mentioned a minute ago. You can't be a stalwart into these elite winning teams
Yeah,
without being half decent. So you have to look at Alan Hansen in the same bracket and go that he was part of a very, very, very successful and very dominant Liverpool team during that period. So he has to be a decent player above the norm. So you can't look at him and go, oh, no, he's not that good. So yeah, I agree, mate. To be fair with that one, can't really argue too much, but I still probably would put Ferdinand above him.
yeah. And just on this, I'm just going to put a quick cut on it for a sec. Um, I'm getting Zoom telling me my meeting will end in 10 minutes, so we'll do a little bit more. We'll maybe try and run through some of the midfielders, and then
Yeah,
I might have to do another quick Zoom call and to finish it off.
yeah, that's fine, mate.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Are you on left back now?
yeah, mate. Left back. There's only one in there. Let's be honest. There's will this be a very quick conversation? He's probably one of the greatest right left backs of all time, up there with Roberto Carlos. We're talking and Carlos Alberto. Really, we're talking about the
Mm.
elite of the elite. Is Ashley Cole. There's no one else. Like the only
Yeah.
man who's comfortably stopped Ronaldo and didn't even break sweat doing it week in, week out. So yeah, I don't have much more to say about that, do I? Let's be honest, it was
No, there's
amazing at Arsenal.
no
Let's just
arguments to be had, I don't think.
no,
Like
it's the greatest left
iconic
back of all
bombing up
time.
the line. He brought that to his game, but just man to man defender. You couldn't get past him, could you?
No, I think only probably what Maldini's probably only one you put in the same brackets in. Obviously, Carlos
You put
Carlos.
Baldini above anybody, though, don't you? I think Maldini's
Exactly, but
the
I
the
think
centre, the left back slash the centre
yeah,
half.
I think yeah, Maldini, Ashley Cole, Marcelo, Roberto Carlos, them are the four names. But like I said, Maldini's top. But I'm not just English bias. I would still put Cole comfortably above Carlos and Marcelo. But I don't. I mean, there's other than I actually struggle with this generally. Left back, I've racked my brains. You got no offense to Leighton Baines. I went Leighton Baines, put him in the list. Right, who else can I put? And there's not many. Also, you got the Irish Irwin who could play right back as well,
Yeah.
and Evra, and that's pretty much it in
Yeah, I
terms of
think Evra's
elite
probably
left back.
your nearest shout when you talk of like the Premier era, don't you? You know,
Yeah,
like
there's
you
not
can't
many, mate.
because I mean
Obviously,
Ashley Cole, like he was there for a long time as well. So he had longevity within that as the top
maybe.
left back between Arsenal and Chelsea. You
Yeah,
know,
and he's got the
Gael
most
Clichy
Premier
was
League.
good, but he was always like the understudy. So, you know, you never. I agree with you.
No,
I think you know left backs from the Premier League era not quite as iconic as maybe other leagues.
no, but he's also got the most FA Cups more than anyone else as well.
Yeah, top player, top player.
Yeah.
I'm going to move into central midfield now. So I've got
Oh, man, it's horrid.
three. I've got three centre mids. Yeah, that's what it's looking like. I've got three centre mids. I'm going to go defensive mid, two centre mids, and an attacking mid. I'll do that route. So
Yep.
start with mid defensive mid, and I'm going Graham Souness.
Oh, mate.
If you have, I mean,
Leader.
I've watched some stuff on Souness. So my obviously the first time I came across him was as a manager when he was at like Blackburn and Newcastle, and I was like, who is this man and what is he on about and why is he so miserable? And then you learn, don't you? You learn about their playing careers. You know, much like I mean, our much like as we grow up, we learn about these players. And the youngins will be learning like, "Oh, was Thierry Henry? He's a rubbish manager. Oh, Wayne Rooney, he's not the best manager." You know, you watch them play; they were something else. And Souness just seemed to have a bit of everything. What I love is he had that bite in him, and he was just a bit of a nasty player. Happy to put his studs into you, but properly elegant as well. Hard man. You know, 3 European Cups, loads of caps for Scotland, 5 First Division titles. You know, played a little bit in Italy as well in that Sampdoria team. Like, just yeah, he had a bit of everything. He could do it all. So Souness is going in. He's my enforcer. So any of these little players you're trying to bring in that are trying to take it round him or whatever, I say bye bye to your shins, lads. And he'll play a nice ball into the front line that you'll be petrified of.
Yeah, I think to be fair,
Souness.
mate, you look at Souness, don't you? And we'll use Troy Deeney's famous words like cojones, what he did when he was manager of was it Galatasaray, when he put the flag in at Fenerbahce Stadium. I mean, yeah, the guy was an animal. I've not seen him play live, but again, seen the videos, and he was a great ball player, but also he was an absolute beast. You would not want to get hit with one of his tackles. He was nasty. He didn't care if he hurt you. He just that was his job. He loved it. Absolutely loved hurting people. So yeah, great player. I agree with that one, mate.
Nice. Who have you got on? So who have you got there in the centre mid side of things?
Yeah, so I've got 4-3-3, as I said. I'm going to put the more defensive of the two, of the three. Sorry, now this was a real toss up between you can imagine who and who. I've gone for the Arsenal wall,
Yes.
Patrick Vieira. Um, I think there's not many players in the Premier League era that could combine what he had, like the elegance, the touch, the drive, but also the fact that he would be a unit. He'd fight for his team. He wouldn't go up. We all know the Arsenal Man United rivalry or the early noughties. He was the catalyst for that. I just think he had everything: the elegance, the arrogance as well. He knew he was one of the best players. He knew he was that good.
A leader as well,
So
wasn't he? He was a leader of that team.
leader of men, and like you look like young Fabregas, obviously the players around him. That team, well, we said earlier with company setting the standard third, and he was one of the ones that set the standard at Arsenal, where you went in and well, use the Invincibles. You can't lead a team to Invincibles unless you are respected and you are that good to do so because they follow your lead and going week in week out. Right, we're not leaving, we're not losing, we're not losing. That is something. And like I said, man, he was just unreal. He was great on the ball. He was technically sound. That he had an edge to him. He was not scared to put his foot in, but also he was calm. I think remember He scored the winner against Man United in the FA Cup final, the winner penalty. I mean, so again, that cold-hearted just drive just to go at it. Big game player, scored goals against Man United, scored goals against Liverpool. Obviously, North London derbies. He was just phenomenal, mate. I can't
Yeah, it was
not
a
put him in
pleasure
there. It's not.
to it was a pleasure to grow up watching him. It was
It was, and
it was
obviously not just saying it because I'm an Arsenal fan. He was phenomenal. Like I think the difference between him and his counterpart, the world famous Roy Keane. Roy
mm,
Keane was a great footballer who wasn't just doing Forza. He had a lot of bad, but I just think Vieira just offered a little bit more
mm.
technically. But in terms of you ask me, from business with you ask me who I'd want as a captain, Roy Keane every day.
Yeah, he's top for that, isn't he? Like
Yeah.
it carries through to today. You can tell he's one of the most respected players.
Mm.
Right, we have a minute left, so what I'll do is I'll stop this one. I'll send you another email with a different link, and we'll jump straight into my next midfield pick. Sound good?
Yes, mate. Crack on.
All right. So I think we need to actually close this. I forgot to close this whole call, and then
Yeah, you do.
I'll
You got
send
the.
you
You
another
do. You
link
got
on
the.
fucking email.
Circle back. Can you imagine?
Right, good stuff. I am going to move on now to my central midfielders. I've got two. I'm going to start both from the northeast, actually, of all places. So I'm sure that gives you a little bit of a clue. But we'll start with a Man United icon. I actually know him more as a manager. I grew up in Bradford and he managed Bradford City for a little while. Went to his first game in charge, where I think they won 1-0. But it's Brian Robson. Brian Robson's going in there. Three-time FA Cup winner, cultured midfielder, Captain Marvel, the engine in the team. Just box to box, just unbelievable talent, great player. Could do a little bit of everything. He's the kind of mold that fellas like Paul Scholes and stuff built themselves upon. They talk about Brian Robson being their icon. So, he just caught the back end of his career a little bit when I was very young. Seen some of the stuff, and obviously like the World Cup appearances and stuff that we watch back. Um, Great, just fantastic player. Lots of goals, box to box, banging them in left, right, and centre as a midfielder. 26 goals for England as well. Cost 90 caps. So yeah, I can't think of a much more suitable central midfielder than Brian Robson.
No, to be fair, mate, that's a great shout. It's a Captain Marvel. Obviously, David Beckham's idol as well. So,
Oh, another
yeah,
one, yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
no, fair play, mate, fair play.
Who
I'll
have you
give
got
you. I
then?
mean,
So
I
you've
mean, he's not as
gone
good as my next pick,
Vieira first pick, and who have you got else in the centre with him? You got a free central
mate.
midfield, haven't you?
Yeah, mate, this guy's a joke. I think he is probably. The debate. We're going to settle the debate right now. You've got the Scholes, Lampard, Gerrard debate.
There's an
I've
easy
gone
one for me.
for, I've gone for Gerrard,
Yeah.
and I've gone for Scholes.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think that's a
I
top.
just think, and I'm controversial. I'm just going to say it. Lampard was overrated. His job was to score goals. He did
Oh,
that, well done, but he offered nothing else. He couldn't pass, he couldn't tackle, he couldn't run. He did one thing and one thing only. Great, well done. That doesn't make you a good player. Doesn't he shouldn't be in the list. De
but
Bruyne is better than him.
could Scholes
No, not a
tackle?
chance. Yeah, but great. He scored goals. Well done.
He
Well,
had
well
Keane
done.
to do it for him and
That
Carrick.
was your own. That was your only job was to score goals, and you did that better than anyone. Not telling you, but no. Anyway, I digress. Yeah. So Gerard, what an absolute baller! I think he may be the greatest midfielder English football has ever produced. And we're talking about players. I'm sure one of them. I'm not going to say his name. Will be on your list, but I think he surpasses him no end. 710 appearances, 186 goals, 155 assists, Champions League, UEFA Cup, FA Cups, League Cups, Super Cups, two English Super Cups as well. Didn't win the Premier League, granted, but that doesn't matter. He's the only player, I don't know if you knew this, man. I didn't know this until literally about an hour ago.
Mhm.
He's the only player to score FA Cup final, a League Cup final, a UEFA Cup final, a Champions League final, all winning on them
I'm
goals.
winning them all. Yeah, I read some stat about
Um,
he scored in every final he played in or something mad, which is
yes, and obviously the famous goal against West Ham as well, mate. Let's not muck about with that.
yeah,
Absolute bloke.
that's one of the best games of
Um,
football I've ever seen. But I
yeah,
agree. Like I always remember, like
114 caps as well.
yeah, I always what was it? I always said, even back in the day with all the amazing players that were floating around, I was an Arsenal fan as well. If I could have had any player, I think could have took us to the next level. It was always Steven Gerrard.
Yeah, I think yeah.
I don't think there
So,
was a better player in world football for a period of time. I mean,
no, I
there was
think
obviously
that's the
some
thing, isn't
unbelievable
it?
players, but he was way up there for me, and for a
Mate,
while as well.
you talk about everything. You talk about players, though. Obviously, Ferguson had Scholes, still wanted Gerrard.
Mm,
Jose Mourinho had Lampard, still wanted Gerrard. And Liverpool, they weren't in the same bracket to go buy them players, but they would never let Gerrard go. I know he tried to leave, granted, blah blah blah, but there was stuff behind that. But from
yeah,
reading his book and stuff, it was not the chat he wanted to leave Liverpool. He wanted to elevate Liverpool to another level. They weren't going that during that time. They weren't a Premier League challenging team.
yeah.
But yeah, he was absolutely, I mean, he carried Liverpool for about 10 years. What a player. Absolute phenomenal player.
And what about Scholes? What's your views on Scholes joining in there
Mate,
with Vieira in the centre of midfield?
mate the guy could not tackle, but that's what made him so amazing because he was
The
awful at
need of
tackling.
them two in his team.
But no, I was going to say, like, he was something else. The fact the guy retired, came back, and was still the best player in the league at that time just shows how good he was. Obviously, his famous quote from, I think it was Messi, Xavi, and Iniesta. His photo was in La Masia, is it La Masia um, Academy trophy room, training room? Sorry, he was a pinnacle, mate. Everyone wanted to be Scholes. He was phenomenal. His goals, his just driving passes. He could find anyone with a diagonal pass. He was absolutely phenomenal. Technically unreal. Went under the radar a lot because he wasn't all showboaty, all that blah blah blah. He wasn't all action in terms of he's not box to box. He was just absolutely phenomenal.
One of
The
those
little
players,
D,
isn't it? You talk about like pure talent, but I think he obviously worked for it. He worked incredibly hard for it
yeah,
because you don't see tons of natural gifts, but unbelievable first touch, the rocket and the goal against Bradford City as well, the absolute
yeah.
rocket from the volley, scored worldies. He could do it, you know, could do it all, couldn't he? Somewhat, except maybe tackle,
Yeah,
but
just
didn't
even
need
against
to.
Barcelona, he got a goal against Barcelona. Don't you remember at all? Like he made 718 appearances, 155 goals,
And how many league
82.
titles was it? Something
Yeah, he
insane.
got he got 11 league titles.
11. That's
Mate, two.
disgusting.
Mate, he's his absolute trophy cabinet. So he got 11 league titles, two Champions Leagues, three FA Cups, two League Cups, and five Community Shields, and also part of the famous '92, mate. Do you know what I mean? He's probably
That
one of
is.
the greatest players of all time. Him and Gerrard would probably be listed. And I know
Well,
there's a player going to say,
there might be top players, but I don't know if they're going to get the ball off my next player, Paul Gascoigne. Hey, maybe he
controversially, he's
hasn't
going to
got
play the
quite the
Premier
level
League.
of achievements as Paul Scholes from a trophies won perspective. But the bit with Gaza is he's probably one of the first ones on this list specifically that I grew up and somewhat knew watching. Euro 96 around that time is probably some of my first memories of football. And obviously one of the first memories of Euro 96 is that unbelievable finish against Scotland. And we pings it over Colin Hendry's head and bangs it in the bottom corner
Mate, I've got some bad
with the
news though. He played in the Premier League.
iconic celebration. Yeah, but he played in the Premier League, but he played prior to the Premier League in the 80s in the Division 1.
Okay, okay, no, okay. Well, he did, but I didn't realize that was the. Okay, I apologise for that. But no, fair play. No,
No, you're all right.
mate.
Well,
I
again,
mean,
because he has that stint in Rangers, he has that stint in Lazio. When the Premier League started, he was out in Lazio. I was looking
yeah.
into this and I thought I'm adding him in because even like when he won the FA Cup with Spurs, it was in 1991. So he did a
What's a
lot of
free kick?
his
What's a free kick, by
fantastic
the way?
stuff. Yeah, that one against Seaman, unbelievable. But you hear the stories about what a lunatic he was and what an unbelievable player he was and stuff. But we can all see it. He's in there for me as he's somewhat of a tweener. he could go in your team as well, but I would say pre-Premier League Gaza has probably got a little bit of a stretch on Everton, Middlesbrough, Gaza.
No, mate, let's be
Played
honest.
in the Prem.
Gaza at Newcastle was a joke. Gaza at Tottenham was a joke. Um, I'm surprised you didn't say Bobby Charlton.
Well, this time yet, mate. This time yet.
Yeah, but no, I agree, mate. Gaza, like I said, technically one of the greatest players of all time in this country. He was phenomenal. Like when you hear about him, the stuff we've seen about him as well. Like obviously, England, Italian '90 when he cried, we're getting sent off. He was the best player on the pitch.
Yeah,
Carried the team as far as they got, mate. He was something else. The games I've
yeah.
seen of him, he was phenomenal,
And
absolutely
you
phenomenal. And
know
obviously,
what
he
could
had
be
his
one of those
stories.
stories of what could have been as well had he not have had his knee injury and his kind of personal issues and stuff. You know,
Yeah,
he
off the
achieved all
off the
of
pitch
that
stuff. Yeah,
even with those things happening. So
yeah. No, mate, I can't argue with that. To be fair, I think Gaza, mate. Even though, yeah, like you said, he played in the Premier League. Obviously, but like you said, Gaza at Everton, Gaza at Middlesbrough was not Gaza at Tottenham, was not Gaza at Rangers, as example. Yeah, mate, what a footballer, what a player.
yeah, definitely. All right, so you've got how many players you got left?
I've got three left, mate.
You got three left. How many have I got?
Yeah,
I
I've got
think I've
four,
got
three,
four
three.
left. I've got four
Yeah.
left.
Oh,
One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. Yeah, 11. Yeah, yeah. I've got four left. So I'll jump in with my next one. Uh, so speaking of that central midfieldish position, I've got Bobby Charlton, as you mentioned
ah,
before, midfielder slash forward. You know, I'm going to have him just in front of the two lads there in the middle. uh, you know, former record goal scorer for England, pinged it left, right, and centre. I remember reading his book. It was a long time ago, so I don't have many sound bites from it. But I always remember one of the bits he'd said is he used to just lever it as hard as he could at the net, and he didn't know where he was levering it as long as it was on target. And he said, "Well, if I don't know where the ball's going, how is the goalkeeper going to know?" And you know, it works. 49 goals for England. He was United's top record scorer for a long time as well. And you can't even talk to his resilience. You know, he survived the Munich air disaster, didn't he?
yeah, Busby
Uh,
Babes, yeah.
you know, and he's just, you know, iconic player for Manchester United, iconic player for England, quiff that we all dream of when we get a little bit older. Just, yeah, he's gonna lead that central midfield partnership of the three lads that I've got behind him. Uh, so Bobby Charlton's in there for me. Man United icon and Division One icon.
Well, you're plus, mate, plus you've got a Ballon'dor. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, European Cup winner and Ballon'dor in 1966 when we won the World Cup, no
And obviously, he
less.
was part of the very famous Man United team, like you said as well. Like, yeah, he was unreal until recently. He was the leading top goal scorer. Till Wazza took it over. But yeah, mate, I don't think you can argue with him being in that list. I think that's a great shout.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Another one from the northeast. I mean, the northeast is just a talent factory with some of these players.
Back in
It
the day, it was,
turned
wasn't it?
out
Yeah,
I
tell me about it.
big time. That's three of the boys in the last couple of selections. Come on then. Are we up to the front three now? I think I've got a front three as well.
Yes, mate. So I'm going to go left wing first of all.
Go on then.
I think there's only one place to start, isn't there? Let's be honest. Left wing, the most decorated player in well British football history, no other than Ryan Giggs. Let's just
Giggsy.
read. Let's
Oh.
just read his stats, mate. His titles: 13 Premier League titles, 2 Champions Leagues, 4 FA Cups, 3 League Cups, 9 Community Shields, Super Cup, World Club Cup. He made 963 appearances for Man United. He was phenomenal. He was a joke, and he's not a stat-driven man. That's all people live on nowadays. He wasn't that. He was something else. He was just ridiculously good. Like he was quick. He was silky.
That goal
Like
against Arsenal in the
I was going to
FA
say,
Cup
yeah,
semi.
268 assists, 168 goals. The guy was just fantastic. Like all that going on, like how good he was. People forget how good he was. Excuse me. Obviously, when he got older, moved into midfield,
Dropped
and
back a bit, didn't he? Yeah.
we're still just as good. But mate, when he was younger, the guy was just a joy to watch playing football. Like the ball
Did
at his feet, you
you
couldn't get off him.
as an Arsenal fan, did you have the eternal debate with your mates around Giggs versus Perez, and what was your view on that at the time?
Yeah, mate. Perez he was obviously an honourable list mention, mate. He was something else, but Giggs, I just think Giggs was brilliant. He was so good. And like I said, well, like we said earlier, mate, but you can't play in a team that good for
And for
that
that
long.
long, he stayed in that
Exactly,
team as well. And
mate.
even when fellas came in like Cristiano Ronaldo, he was still playing, wasn't he?
900 appearances, 963 appearances, making him like the all-time appearance record. You can't play for Man United at that level of Man United as well. We're talking about the class of '92. We are talking the treble winners,
When they were
everything.
the team.
They were the pinnacle of the pinnacle at that time. You can't be at Man United and not be a good player to be there for that long.
That's
So
why he played
yeah,
for United that many times.
mate, it's a journey. Obviously, people were after him like, but he never left. And yeah,
I'm
the
not
stats,
convinced. I've played over 1,000 games of football in my life, and I'm talking like Sunday League and five-a-side. He played it
mate, he was so
professionally
good,
between
so
Man United
good.
and Wales.
Like he made what 632 appearances just in the Premier League alone, mate. And I know his stats aren't great. Feel his stats, goal return, blah blah blah.
But
But
you
there's
don't
more to it.
necessarily
There's
need
more
that as
to it
much,
than
do you?
stats. That's why I hate stats because he
I know
was
you
so
can
good. Of
pull stats out of thin air, like pass to
course, you
assist.
can.
Like it's those ones, isn't it? Like when what was it?
Love
There's
Pele.
that Busquets assist, isn't there? Where he just like
Yeah,
Messi takes it off him and it's an assist. And then you have like a
exactly.
player that plays an unbelievable ball that cuts through the defense, and the player they played it to just squares it across, and then obviously that
Like
doesn't
Dennis
work out for
Burkett, mate.
anything.
My things either with football or a joke.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
Well, I'm
so gigs, mate,
gig
all day long.
gigs. Yeah, fair play. I think it's a decent shout.
Just a record, I also had Perez on my list, but I just thought gigs. You can't look past gigs. The stats
It's the
alone speak
longevity,
for it.
isn't
Like
it?
his longevity, his career, his titles, mate. You can't be part of a team for that long, win that many titles, and captain the side without being a decent footballer.
Yeah.
He was something else.
So I'm gonna jump in, right? So my front three is somewhat interchangeable. I think you're looking more at two supporting forwards and then a centre forward.
Interesting.
So my two supporting forwards, this is going to be a bit of a chaotic formation. They're probably going to drop out wide a little bit. I've got the two Ks. I've got Kevin Keegan and I've got Kenny Dalglish in there.
Oh,
Scotland had an
ballers.
unbelievable era, but Kevin Keegan just I mean, there's a lot of Liverpool players in this team actually looking at it now. Just shows that level of dominance they had back in that kind of 1980s, 1970s era. But Kevin Keegan, I read his book as well. I was, obviously I know him from the iconic rant. We're still fighting for this title. I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
Mate, what a mate, that's iconic. Like you said, absolutely iconic.
But
Love it.
as a player, you read the stories and you hear, won the Ballon'dor twice, went out to Germany, an English player going abroad, which doesn't happen much. I read about his upbringing in his book. It's a great book. It's worth reading, like in his days in Doncaster and how he kind of forged his way playing for Scunthorpe and then ended up at Liverpool. Lots of goals, European Cups, won the Bundesliga, top player for England, was a poster boy for years and years and years. Just a real iconic player. And then when he left Liverpool, who did they bring in? They brought in, his partner here up top, Kenny Dalglish. I probably can't talk to how the Liverpool fans can talk to King Kenny, but just legendary player, legendary Scottish player. Played for Celtic, played for Liverpool, 102 caps for Scotland, bags of goals, 3 European Cups, 8 First Division titles. Um, there's not really much more you can say. Could find the back of the net, pacey, skillful. Oof, you know, again, I'm talking off of highlights versus what I saw day to day, week to week. But Kenny Dalglish is definitely up there with Kevin Keegan, and that's the two lads that are going to be supporting my final position, which is the striker, which I'll jump into after you've given me your right winger or striker.
Mate, so my right winger, I really struggle with this. Really struggle with
Mm.
this. But you might think it's controversial.
Well,
However, I think this guy, I think, is probably one of the top three best first touches I've ever seen in world football. It has to be none other than Riyad Mahrez.
Mahrez,
Yeah.
interesting.
Um,
I mean,
so
fabulous player.
5 Premier Leagues,
Over
Champions
Mo
League.
Salah.
Yeah, don't get me started on him. Um, don't get, I don't buy the hype. Never will do.
The hype
I'd
of
never
hundreds of Premier League goals, etc., etc. But sorry,
against
carry on with Mahrez.
against
Go on.
players that are, we're talking absolute ballers and Mo Salah scoring against fucking sorry, Mo Salah scoring against players like Senderos. Well done, mate. Well done. Take a bow. Not even the record books. So mate, yeah, part of the treble winning team. Three. Uh, sorry, that's a lie. He's got 5 Premier League titles, 2 FA Cups. He was just unbelievable. Like they signed him for what 750 grand.
When he's
Leicester
at
did,
Leicester. Yeah.
and the partnership he had with Jamie Vardy was something else.
Yeah.
And he then went and joined Man City, and just his career was unbelievable. From that point on, he just elevated his game. Over 120 goals, again over what 90 odd assists. He was something else, mate. He was so good.
You use
Like I
that
say, his first,
hindsight for that Leicester team, don't you? Back in 2015, you thought, "Oh my goodness!" And N'Golo Kante, like they were getting
so
the best out of good players, not amazing players. But between Kante, Vardy, and Mahrez, them three were just on another planet at that time, weren't they?
that's it, and that's it. And he left. When he left them, like you thought, oh, is he just a good player in an average team? No, he was a great player,
You'll get
and he
found out
went
at City if you're not. You're not good enough.
exactly. And he went there, and he was
Made that
phenomenal,
position his own. Yeah.
absolutely phenomenal. So I don't think you can look any further than that. And then when we're talking about players like Lundberg, Ronaldo, that could have easily gone into that team.
And the obvious one that you obviously hate. Sounds of things.
I don't hate him. Hate's a strong word. I just don't rate him. But even like Beckham, again, I even put him in the list. So there's players there, mate.
It's funny, isn't it?
Like,
Beckham's iconic, but I don't think he'd be near my all-time Premier League 11 either.
no, but I'm just saying again, it's a player that mate, Mahrez was so good. I
Yeah.
wish he was at Arsenal. I really wish he was at Arsenal. But yeah, I think of all the players, this and all the positions, this is probably the hardest one. But I do believe I chose the best
Fair
right wing
play.
we've had.
Fair play.
I might. I know. I'm not going to get fired for this, but
You
you know
were
what?
right with the controversial take, but I'll
Come at me. I'll easily sit you down and ask you questions.
right, here we go then. So this is the fellas now, the two lads leading the line. For
Yep.
me, I think Jimmy Greaves,
I know I'm
natural
going.
natural goal scorer. I don't think there's a striker. We talk about Alan Shearer's goal scoring record and stuff. Jimmy Greaves scored 357 top flight goals. If you put Premier League in front of it and it's not called Division One, you're looking at Premier League's top striker. 44 goals in 57 caps for England. Like, I can't see anybody who's quite as prolific as Jimmy Greaves in general, especially back in that era from an English perspective. Unlucky to miss out in the 1966 World Cup with an injury. FA Cup and Cup winners could be one. Top scorer in in the first division, 6 times over. I knew him through a little bit. Was it Question of Sport? I think he was on for a while. So since some of his clips on all Question of Sport and stuff. But ridiculously talented football player. Probably someone that flies under the radar. Sure, at some point we'll do an overrated versus underrated 11, and he'll probably find his way into one of those. Well, into the underrated team at some point as well. Chelsea, Milan, Spurs, West Ham. Just top character and even more unbelievable player. So Jimmy Greaves leads my line. And yes, before you say anything, I do now realise I've left George Best out, but I'm not sure where he's fitting in my team. That's the problem. That's why it's just so
Mate,
hard when you do an
I
ultimate 11.
can't believe you left George Best out. I would probably, if it was me, I'd probably cut out Keegan.
That was the closest shout, but I don't know.
Mate,
It
George
just
Best, just it was
unbelievable.
what? Yeah, I just think he carried some of that Man United team. But mate, no, fair
Who
play,
have you
Jimmy
got up
Greaves.
top then?
There's only one, isn't there? There's only one, and like you mentioned him already, Alan Shearer deserves a massive shout, but it has to be the mercurial French Vavavoom
Easy.
talent that was TT King Henry. Um, the guy made football elegant, just beautiful footballer. Like he did things with a football that no one's ever seen before. Um, he was, I don't know how to describe, like as a fan of Arsenal and as a fan of Thierry Henry, it's hard to say the words of what he made football feel like. But he was amazing, mate. Absolutely mental how good he was. 377 appearances, obviously all-time goal scorer, 228 goals, 101 assists. The guy was just something else.
It was,
175 goals for Arsenal as well in the Premier
yeah,
League. I mean,
it was one of them.
74. He,
Having a player like that in the Premier League, it it felt a bit uncommon. It wasn't something that felt normal. Like I always remember being young again. You had like that when we were younger, maybe in like the late 90s. It was like there was a mystique and an aura around R9 Ronaldo. Like, oh my goodness, you didn't
yeah,
know much about him. You saw a little bit on Channel 4 every so often, be like, oh, and then to have a player, at somewhat at that level in the Premier League that we could watch every week on Match of the Day or every week on Sky Sports, it was a joy to behold. Like just
it was the
fabulous
arrogance
football
with it. It
player.
was the arrogance. He knew how good he was as well, but he did it in such a way that you couldn't even argue with him. Like I said before, he was silky. He was a beautiful footballer, and controversially, that's what I'm here for. He was robbed of the Ballon'dor. Let's be honest, Pavel Nedved, a great footballer, but you're having a laugh, mate.
I
Come
don't
on.
think that's a controversial take, to be honest with you.
But I think for about 4 years, he was probably the greatest footballer on the planet for about 4 years, and I say that with chest. Um, yeah, he viewers might know Jamie Carragher now is a great pundit, but he had him on toast week in, week out. There's a famous clip of just
Running
it was
past.
even he didn't even put the full burners on either, mate. Like he was just a joke. And obviously, remember the goal he scored four against Leeds, and one of the games where he took the ball off Pires on the centre circle, and just the
Yeah.
acceleration was an absolute joke past Lucas Radaby, I think it was, and Lucas Radaby looked like he was running treacle. The guy was just absolutely phenomenal. You talk about players now, that why they go to Arsenal because of Thierry Henry.
Yeah.
He is the elite of the elite. And I think for me, he is the greatest Premier League striker. And we are talking players that have played in this game, but unreal. Aguero's, Rooney's, who I was. Rooney doesn't get the credit he deserves, but what even Cantona's, Kane's.
Yeah, there's some unbelievable ones, and that probably leads us quite well to, we could maybe jump into 4, 5, 6 of the old subs slash honourable mentions.
Yeah,
I'll talk through some of mine ever so quickly. I've got
yeah.
Sir Stanley Matthews in there, played until he was
Oh,
50,
player.
first ever player to win the Ballon d'Or. Have him on the wing. George Best, obviously, he's definitely going to sit in there for me. Top player, arguably could replace one or two players in that team, but I'm going with what I'm going
Easily.
with. Gordon Banks at the back, legendary goalkeeper, won the World Cup. John Barnes, electrifying winger. Oh, just that goal against Brazil, you can't look
Yeah.
past it. Fabulous player. Lads like Trevor Brooking, Ray Wilkins, Norman Hunter. Just that's the kind of level I've got. I've got some real top players sitting on the bench, and lastly, obviously Jackie Charlton's going to go in there as well, supporting his brother. So I've got 4 or 5 players there, all with their own accolades, all with their own stuff. Might find their way onto the pitch when we get into the simulation point. Depends if it decides to bring them on or not.
Mate, that's a great bench, to be fair. Now, obviously, again, same as yourself, I've got some absolute ballers here to be mentioned. Petr, like you said yourself, you wanted him in. I
He'd be
believe he
mine,
is
yeah.
the all-time clean sheet record. Unbelievable player. Gary Neville, Mr. Consistent. Neville was below an 8, maybe a 7.5. Always gave everything. Um, on the midfield defensive side, that's probably John Terry, Tony Adams, easy get in.
I
We've
think
already
Terry,
discussed
funny
him.
enough, he'd be my starting lineup, Terry. I think Terry's the
Yeah,
best English defender of the Premier League era.
for me, but I just don't like Terry. I just don't like John Terry.
Yeah, well,
I
that's
think
true. I don't
man,
like Ryan Giggs
that's
either.
why that's why I put him down. I just do not like the man. Do you know what I mean? Great defender,
Yeah,
100%, but I just
that's
don't like
fair,
the
no,
man.
and you can take those things into consideration.
On the right in the midfield, and this is where it gets stupidly hard. Kevin De Bruyne, Kante, Rodri. Ballon'dor winner, Torre, Letizia. Let's not forget about that guy.
Mm.
Then you got Ronaldo, Ginola, Hazard, Bale. Do you know what I mean?
It's
That
unbelievable.
guy from Liverpool that people talk about, Shearer, Rooney, mate. The guy, like, even Harry Kane. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, Harry Kane's
Like,
unbelievable. Yeah.
I think there's too many players for me to sort of have. I don't even have to choose five of these. There's just too many. I'll let you choose the five for the subs bench, mate, because
I'll
it's
stick
so
around.
hard.
Nice.
But just do not pick John Terry. No, I'm joking.
Starting
No, to be
striker.
fair, mate, I just think when it comes to choosing a subs bench for me, it was hard enough choosing the actual 11, but then choosing a subs bench on the back of it.
Yeah, I
I'm,
think
I,
you could definitely make the argument that there's more depth, isn't there, in the Premier League side of
yeah,
things than there maybe is in the
definitely, yeah.
pre-Premier League. But then it also
Can I,
comes down to not knowing it as such, and
can I
obviously
ask you? Can I ask you a
transfer fees
question?
and international. Sorry, go on.
What's your say on the De Bruyne, Gerrard, Lampard, Scholes debate, mate?
I think Gerard always walks into the team for me, and then I think others could be interchangeable. I think it depends what you want out of your team. I think where you think Lampard's maybe overrated, I think he's probably severely underrated. Nobody scores that many goals from midfield without being an absolute unbelievable talent. But maybe go Gerard and De Bruyne potentially. It's tough. Gerard is the one that gets in, and I think you
Oh,
swap the other
without that,
three in
yeah.
and out. Cop out.
Yeah.
I'm copping out.
Yeah, I can tell. But again, strikes, mate. I've even forgot to. I feel ridiculous not mentioning his name. I actually feel disgusted with
Luis
myself.
Suarez.
Drogba.
No, Drogba. You don't be saying Suarez.
I mean, no, don't get me wrong. Suarez at Liverpool that season was a level above. Like, he was phenomenal. But Drogba, if you ever want someone to score in a final, would step up. Drogba's your man. I just asked Arsenal. We're used to seeing him score against us every week.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Um, I think I'm correct in saying he scored in every final he's ever played in.
Right.
He was phenomenal, a beast. Obviously, he came from Marseille, and people laugh when Mourinho went 24 million on this guy from Marseille, no one's ever heard of. Turned him into one of the most formidable strikers we've ever seen. Pace, power, everything. And then, mate, honestly, I'm going to say something controversial. I wouldn't put Ronaldo in my Premier League
Mm.
20. I'd put,
Well,
but
even
only
for
because,
that 2008 season, though,
I
that's
mean,
where I
don't get me
think
wrong,
like that's where
he
I
was
think Ronaldo started. I think that's where
yeah, I
like
mean, I'm not arguing. For 2 years, the guy was in a league of his own. I'm not saying that. I'm not taking anything away from him. But I think for longevity, you're looking, I'd rather pick someone like Hazard over him.
going with
Even
longevity.
Mane. Even Mane.
And
What
I
they
think
did again, beautiful
Mane was
football.
unreal for a while. Yeah, I think that's the bit with these, isn't it? Like it depends on. I think
But I
you can
think
always
I
pick
think
them. You
Ronaldo.
can
We
pick them
think of
two
Ronaldo.
ways.
Ronaldo at Real Madrid, isn't he? We think of Ronaldo now. We think of Ronaldo at Real Madrid. We
Yeah,
don't think of Ronaldo Man United. I know he won the Ballon d'Or at Man United. I'm not, like I said, the guy
this is
was
just saying. This is
something
where I
else.
think when you do an ultimate 11, you can pick it two ways, can't you? You can pick
Of
it as
course, he can.
that player was at his prime. So when that player was at their best in that team, so that Ronaldo 2008, or you can do it with like Ryan Giggs over that period of time. I often tend to go for the longevity side of things, but if you were to
Yeah,
kind of, you'd probably have an argument for Suarez being your starting striker if you're going for the player at that moment in time and how unbelievable he was.
I mean, just he's a Tottenham player, right? And I'm gonna say it simply because
Uh-oh.
I loved watching him. David Ginola, mate, what a baller! I loved watching him play football. He was
Yeah.
so good. Obviously, I know he's Newcastle, but mate, when he was at Spurs as well, I hated him because he was so good because he was at Spurs. But quickly, I want to say one player that I have to talk about. I'm sorry, mate. I know you probably sick of my talking, but if injuries didn't happen, the greatest defender we've ever produced, Ledley King.
Oh, Ledley
Another,
King, yeah. He
another
was.
Tottenham player. I'm sorry, another Tottenham player, but he was unreal. So, do you remember when Euro 2006 we
Yeah.
played France? He was playing defence midfield, went off at half time because he was injured, and we crumbled. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And obviously Zidane took over.
Yeah.
He was phenomenal for that 45 minutes. Absolutely breathtaking.
He was great
If
there,
he
wasn't he?
didn't get injured,
the story of what could have been with him. I remember like Harry Redknapp telling the story that like he would just go on the bike, wouldn't he? You know, he wouldn't
Yeah,
even really
he couldn't
train and stuff.
train. He
Go on
couldn't
the
train.
bike,
Yeah,
would play on the weekend, and then he'd have to rest up for a couple of days. Yeah,
yeah,
no, he
had the
was
macho knees.
a tale of what could have been.
Yeah, so that's myth. So like I said, mate, there's two. I can't pick a suspect from that. I'm going to let you decide.
All right, leave it with me. So the next step, what we'll do is we are gonna get a game lined up. Not sure what one yet, and we're gonna simulate this game. So we'll do a little bit of a preamble chat about it, and then we'll get that shared and we'll watch along. So enjoy. Speak soon.
Right, here we are, Bill. We have pre-Prem versus the Prem. I'm doing it for the pre-Prem team because football didn't exist before 1993, did it? Apparently, in England.
Apparently not.
Oh, so I think the lineups are about to pop up now. How do you think this game's going to go?
Look at that. There's goals there in there. Let's be honest. There's goals.
Yeah, I
We said that
tend
about
to.
the other one, didn't we?
Yeah. Mahrez, Henry, Giggs, Scholes, Gerrard, Vieira, Cole, Company, Ferdinand, Walker, and Schmeichel. I've got about 5 strikers in this team, though.
Yeah, you've got a lot of strikers. Mine's definitely more balanced than yours.
I'd say so. Off we go, lads. Don't know who's who. Is that Henry?
I was going to say, yeah.
Who's this fella? Who's this guy? Is that Gaza? If he's bald, it's Bobby Charlton. If he's blonde, it's Gaza. That's what I know. And if it's up top, it's Jimmy Greaves. Oh, good knock that.
No, Jimmy Greaves is
Oh.
7. I know that much.
Here's Charlton. I like how the guy was just jogging after him. A little jog behind you. I've only got 3 centre halves as well, so in theory, I'd expect your lads to walk round us. Souness in there. How do you think that battle would have gone in real life? Souness versus Patrick Vieira.
Probably not good for Vieira, to be fair. I think probably would have had a couple of bloody noses.
Depends what era, doesn't it? It
I
might
was
have been a
going
bit
to say,
more
yeah.
protected in the 2000s, but in the 80s.
I think like same as Roy Keane. I think we said it before though. I think Patrick Vieira very much gets underappreciated how good he was.
Yeah. When he got Gilberto behind him as well, and he was able to kind of gallivant a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, Gilberto still was an absolute rock
Yeah.
at the Invincible team.
Nose and chin on
As soon as
keeping.
Keane would have been a great battle, though, mate. Can you imagine that?
Yeah. That would have.
In both eras.
Any other matchups you like the look of in this one? Like Thierry Henry going up against the boys that would like smash his ankles a bit.
I was going to say Henri v Hans would be quite a good one.
Yeah. Gigs on Viv
And
Anderson
all your
as well.
12 strikers against Andy Cole.
All needs with Souness. No, not Souness, sorry. Dalglish. Just mixing up my Scottish players. It's interesting that there were so many fantastic Interesting that there were so many fantastic Scottish players back in the day, like world class ones. And
yeah, like Dennis Law, Kane Dalglish. Joe Jordan could be looking at that list. Obviously, Souness.
Yeah, and it's not something you see so much anymore, is it?
No.
Which makes you wonder why. But do you think that's also to do with international players? You'd have probably looked to Scotland for your international players back in that day. You wouldn't be looking
and also
to like
money coming into the game as well, the academies, etc. People
oh, who else? Who else?
It's always going to be Tiet, mate. It's still weird seeing him in a Man United kit. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
I tell you, well, the best player in Premier League history, I would say. You know,
Yeah,
who else was going to score?
That,
who else was going to score? Rocket. Good save by Shilton there to begin with, but look at that.
You got a question, Bobby Moore there. Ran away from the ball, got scared of the French. He was scared of the Bavavoo. So this was around in my day.
I'm not sure what he's doing. You're right. That's a finish and half, that though. You almost found the stanchion. Don't worry, Jimmy Greaves, Paul Gascoigne, Brian Robson. These lads have got it in the locker.
We've done better already than the South America game, mate.
Yeah, at least there's been a goal in this one and a shot on target. Oh, it would be really nice to see their names.
Yeah. I mean, Giggs v Anderson would be quite a good mix up in real life.
Yeah.
Who's your other
Hello.
centre back? Oh,
I've
Hanson
got
Moore.
Alan Moore, yeah, and Viv Anderson because I just went three centre halves because I wanted to put all the attackers in.
And you've got all of the attackers in the world.
Yeah, I'm surprised Jimmy Greaves is on the corners though. Little fox in the box.
Yeah.
No,
Got
not
Gareth
the
Southgate
manager.
over again with Harry Kane.
Yeah. Hey, he's in. Oh, big front stick
Never in
header.
that, mate. Never in that. Oh,
Oh wow, he's two. Is that Henri again? Can't even
it
keep up
is.
with him. Mahrez. He's trying too many skills.
Yeah.
Snapping.
Great first touch, though.
Oh, nice turn. Here we go. Skinned him. Oh, he should have. Oh no, it's a good ball. Why has he passed it back there? That's the problem with this formation. It's like somewhat too attacking, and then all the players just seem to get a bit lost. I don't
That's
think
what I
that.
said. There's no structure, is there? They're just
Yeah,
free for all.
I don't know how many teams
Oh,
played 3-6-1 back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Or the old Christmas tree formation. Good job, lads. Don't worry, we'll get them in the second half. We've been here before, I think. Pressing my keyboard. All right, here we go. Second half. Free shots. I haven't even had a shot yet. Too busy talking about the battles on the pitch. Oh, he's just taking the mick now. He's gone for a little leisurely stroll back to his own net.
but, mate, does what when he's that good, does what he wants.
Oh, kept it in for him,
How
and
do you think
then
some of these players would have done in the Premier League era?
you'd have thought, well, you know, class is permanent and all that good stuff. I think,
True.
yeah, it's not even like players are bigger. There's just more sports science and all that stuff, and the technology is a bit different. They're not playing with
Yeah.
like a
Oh,
rock.
got. Oh,
Get the VAR. Now, no VAR back in these days. That's good.
no.
Skilled linesman working that out. I think we don't need to see
But they
that
weren't
again, do
scared to make a decision.
we? Yeah. I suppose maybe they'd be. I think they'd do well. How about you? How do you think the Premier League players would have got on in the olden days with the horrendous pitches and the
I
ridiculous?
think it's. I think.
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh, that's all they need. One shot, one goal. King Kenny
who?
looks
King
exactly
Kenny.
like him as well.
Spitting image, mate.
Spinning
Um, I think. I think that some of the players probably would have struggled a little bit because I think they're a lot more technically and there's a lot more flair and stuff like that. So I do think they probably would have maybe
But then,
struggled, but
arguably, you could say the one miss that was a big miss from me in this was not having George Best in the team. And he, in theory, could, oh, look at that bit of analysis. He, in theory,
oh,
could have, well, that's cool, isn't it? That's a little bit of an innovation that they could maybe bring back. But George Best had that skill set, didn't he? He could run with the ball and do all that on those horrendous pitches. So it was possible.
I was going to say there is a caveat to it, obviously, and even like you go as far back as sort of look at Garincha, look at Pele as well. So
Stanley
yeah,
Matthews.
it's definitely a conversation we had. I think maybe they could do well, but it's all hypothetical, isn't it? You can never actually tell for
Yeah.
certain.
Unless we
Oh,
invent time travel or something. Oh, he's
oh,
knocked it back to him. Oh, he should have got greedy
oh,
there.
that's not like Omri in that
Oh, go
situation.
on. Go on. Oh, what was that all about? He
Half
was just
hour gone, half hour left.
flexing how far he can kick it. Mara's
Oh,
handing out, is it? Oh, am I going to eat my words? No, luckily not.
oh,
Hey, we're worried though. We're just booting it back to you. It's like we're holding
yeah,
on for
mate.
Penos.
Not again.
No, no. Oh, where are you going that way for? It's like we're playing for the draw. Maybe Southgate's our manager.
Right, Tessa. According to Jamie Carragher.
Hit it. Oh, Bobby Charlton. All he needed was one hit. We've had one shot, one goal. So I'm convinced if we can get one more shot off, we'll score.
Go on, go on. Hello. Go on.
Not
Go
another
on.
rebound. Oh, for crying out loud. Mahrez.
Yes.
Why did I say it? Mahrez hasn't done much in the game.
Mate, that's what he does, see?
You can only score off Shilton's fabulous saves. Where's my defence? They're not used to playing free at the back. This is all my fault for the horrendous formation I've given them.
Great save from Scholes, you know. And then, but it's still a good finish. He was stretching. Where's the analysis on that? So yeah,
Great
they don't like that, do they?
Nah, see if there's any no analysis, mate.
So Mahrez didn't want
Come on,
my
lads. All out attack now. You've got 17 minutes. Oh, I thought we were going to do it. Knock it back to him. Whip it in. Whip it. Why is he running out to the wing with him? Don't need you there. Almost made to eat my words again. It's as if they know what they're doing and I know nothing about football. I don't like Kevin Keegan.
Matt, so far, Ferdinand looks quite comfortable about it.
He has looked.
Good Rolls Royce.
Gazette. Where's Robson? That could be Robson.
I forgot you had Bobby Robson.
Brian Robson.
There's a lot of passing backwards, isn't it?
Yeah. Which you don't put 2 and 2 together, will you, with 2005? But
no.
Oish, close one. Henry's looked well comfortable in this. I don't know if that was him. I think that might have been Scholes, but I'll pretend it's Henry. He's looked well comfortable in this game.
I mean, he does. When Henry's been on the ball, he does look very comfortable, doesn't he?
Oh, he's even pulling out step overs now. No, Henry's in the box.
Scholes is just a joke. No, I think Scholes will probably do well, whatever era.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Not Mara. Oh, if that were another rebound goal. Go on, lads. Go. It's your last chance. Give it to Bobby Charlton. Let him shoot. Oh, just ran straight into Ferdinand.
Oh, mate, he's an absolute beast, isn't he?
Yeah.
Henry's there again. He's comfortable, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been quite a last chance now. Boom it, lads. 2 rebounds.
Mate.
Fitness levels. How they go in. Fitness levels let us down. That was it. That's what I'm putting it down to.
I think we'll take that.
I don't believe it. Don't believe it.
Graham had to win because remember football didn't exist before 1992, so the Premier League era had to win.
And it is a Premier League era computer game, so there's probably a little bit of bias in there as well. Yeah, Premier League stadium. Oh, actually, Highbury is probably a pre-Premier League stadium. I know it was in the Prem, but look at that though. Wonderful football. In fairness, I think that was my only shot all game.
I think it might have been. We'll bring the stats up, I'm sure, mate. But that might have been.
Should we have a look? Got to see the winner now, haven't we? Though Riyad Mahrez popping up on the right. Look at that.
I couldn't tell you when I put him in the team.
I didn't know. I said it was a surprise. Wasn't a snarl because a fabulous football player. Oh, where are we? Control turned off. Let's have a look then. We'll look at the stats. Who's your man of the match?
Henry.
Yeah. I think Henry or Scholes. Scholes look good. 1 shot, 1 goal. You know, all those strikers in 1 shot. Passing don't win your games. I remember reading a quote from I think it was Chile's manager when I was in South America, and it was like something to do with, oh yeah, I spent all night with this lady and we had drinks, I did this and that. We got on like a real house on fire. And then some Casanova came along and took her home. But I didn't care because I had most of the possession. And there you have it. So Thierry Henry, man of the match. 2-1 victory. Yeah, 2-1 victory. Deserved, I think, in that case, unfortunately. But there's always next time. And that's it, Bill.
Next game, mate. Wait till the next game. We're gonna
Always on to the next game.
enjoy ourselves too.
That's it. That was all right. That one. That was quite watchable. So that's it from me. On to next time, where we will be covering another Ultimate 11. Who knows what it'll be? How was that for you, Bill?
Yeah, mate, it was good. Obviously, like it's always good the Premier League era won, but no, it was good, mate.
Yeah.
I'm glad my
Right.
mate Mahrez won it.
What's the word I'm trying to say? He proved his point, didn't he? People thought it was a controversial pick, and bang, pops up with the last minute winner. Well, not last minute, but
and the commentator's curse came true.
Yeah, that was my own fault. I cost the team. Right.
Always a pleasure, mate.
Yeah, always a pleasure. On to the next one. I'll see you soon. Good work.
Lovely.
All right, there we go.